Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Yvonne's Crochet. Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet for absolute beginners. I'm going to teach you some basic stitches and skills you need to know. Let's get started. Today we'll be learning how to slip knots, how to hold the crochet hook, how to crochet a chain, single crochet stitch, and how to weave in ends of your work. For today's tutorial, you need yarn. You can use any yarn or you can go and buy some yarn from the yarn shop. You need a hook, you need a scissors, and you need a needle. So to start crocheting, you need a slip knot. So you hold your yarn with the other three fingers and you wrap your yarn around your pointing finger. 1, 2, twice. So now this is the first loop and the second loop. So you're going to take the second loop over the first loop and you leave it here. Then you take the first loop and you take it over the finger. Then you pull the short end to tighten the knot. Then you remove it from a finger like this. So let's do that again. You hold your yarn with the rest of the fingers. You hold the short end, then you wrap it twice around your pointing finger. Then you take the second loop on top of the first loop. Then you take the first loop and you pull it over your finger. Then you pull the short end. Now you have your slip knot. Then you are going to take your hook and insert your hook into the knot. Then you pull the long end to the size of your hook. You don't pull it too tight and not too loose, as you can see how I've pulled mine. So you hold your hook with the hand you use if you're right-handed with the right hand, if you're left-handed with your left hand. And then your yarn, you hold it like this and you put it over your pointing finger like this. Then you use the middle finger and the thumb to hold the knot like this, to hold the knot. So now we are going to make chains. So you hold your hook and your yarn like this. You are going to yarn over. So to yarn over, you take your hook and you insert it under the yarn like this, and then you turn your hook so that the hook is going to hook the yarn and also not to lose the yarn as it go into this loop which is already on the hook. So you're going to pull the yarn into the loop like this. So we are going to do that again. So now this is the first chain, so we are going to do that again. We are going to insert our hook under the yarn and we turn our hook so that it holds the yarn. Then we pull it. So make sure as you are doing that, your loops on the hook here are not too tight because if they are too tight, it's going to be difficult to pull the yarn and the hook inside this loop which is already on the hook. So we are going to yarn over again. You turn your hook and you pull it into the loop. So how many stitches we have? 1, 2, and 3. So we are going to do that again until we have 10. So we are going to yarn over, you pull through. How many chains do I have here? 3, 6, 7. I have 7 chains. So we yarn over, turn our hook, pull through. 8, yarn over, turn your hook, you pull through. 9, yarn over, turn your hook, pull through 10. Now we have 10 stitches on our hook. Now we have 10 stitches. So I'm going to teach you how to count your stitches. So as you can see, there's these which look like these. They look like these. So those are your stitches. So you count. I'm going to put my hook down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the ones which look like V here, as you can see. So when you make your 10 stitches, you chain 1 extra, 11, because we will lose that. You lose stitches. There will be 9 if you chain exactly 10. So now we are going to start the single crochet. So to make a single crochet, you're going to skip, as you can see, there's this stitch where your loop is coming from. The loop which is on the hook is coming from this one. This one is not the first stitch. The first stitch is the next one. So we skip this one and we go to this one. That's why we chained an extra stitch, or the 11th stitch. So on your chains, you see there are 3 loops on your chains. If you look well, there are 3 loops. There is this loop, the bottom one, there's the mid one, and the top one. So to make a single crochet, you are going to insert your hook into this chain. We skip the one where the loop is coming from. We go into this one. What you're going to do, we are going to insert our hook under 2 loops here. Insert your hook under 2 loops, right? Then you yarn over, then you pull through loop 1. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, then you pull through loop 2. So we go into the next stitch. Now this is our next stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into the 2 loops. The first line is the most boring line or difficult line for me. Then you insert your hook, then you yarn over, then you pull through. You have 2 loops. You yarn over again and you pull through 2. So this is the single crochet. So we are going to do that again. Insert your hook, you yarn over, you pull through 2. We do that again. Now this is our next stitch. So here it's important to look carefully which your next stitch is. Then you insert your hook under 2 loops, you yarn over, you pull through, you yarn over, you pull through. Okay, so you do that again. You insert your hook, you yarn over, you pull through, you yarn over, you pull through 2. Okay, let's do that until the end. Insert your hook, you yarn over, turn your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook. Now we are on the 9th stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now it's the 10th stitch. It might be difficult to see, but you have to make sure you see it. You insert your hook, you yarn over, you pull through, yarn over, you pull through 2. So now we are at the end. So it's important to note that every time you're at the end of your work, you have to chain 1. So to chain 1, you yarn over and you pull through. That's your chain 1. So every time you're at the end of the last stitch, or you're at the last stitch after the last stitch, you yarn over, you pull through. You have to make a chain. Yes, you have to make a chain. So now you have to turn your work. You're going to the second line, you turn your work. So now when you're in after the first line, for you to know how many stitches you have to count your stitches. So to count your stitches, if you look clearly here at this the V, there's a V here, the V is here, that's the one you count. We don't count the one where the loop is coming from. This one you don't count it, you count from this one. The second one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, the last one, this one. So now we are on the second line. So this one where the loop on the hook is coming from, we don't crochet into that one, we go on the next one. This is our first chain. So you're going to, you see there are 2 loops which are making the V on top here, these 2 loops. So you're going to insert your hook under these 2 loops. If you pull your work like this, you'll see there's a gap like here. That's where you're going to insert your hook. So you're going to insert your hook here. You see there are 2 loops here. Yes, so you're going to yarn over, you're going to yarn over, right, and then you pull through, then yarn over and you pull through 2. So it's the same thing we're doing at the first line. Okay, and so you continue to do that same. You insert your hook at this gap here to have 2 loops on your hook, then you yarn over, then you pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You do the same thing, yarn over, we do the same thing, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through. So you do that and we meet at the end. So now we are at the 9th stitch. This is your last stitch, your 10th stitch. It might be difficult to see, but make sure you see it, you look at it, don't forget it here. Okay. And also as you are crocheting, make sure to keep your tension the same and not to make your loops on the hook too tight or too loose. Just be consistent on the tension that you use. So the last stitch is done, then we chain 1, turn our work, and we repeat what we did on the second line. Now this is the 3rd line. So you're going to repeat until it is the length that you want. So I'll do mine and we'll meet at the end on how to fasten or how to weave in ends. So I ended up doing 10 lines. Now I'm at the last stitch of my 10th line, so I'm going to pull through. So I'm going to make chain 1. I'm going to take my scissors and cut off my yarn. Make sure there's enough yarn for you to weave in. Cut off my yarn. Then I'm going to pull this yarn out like this. then you pull it tight to fasten it. So this is what we have. So don't forget to count your stitches as you go up if you're not sure if they are enough. And if you see your work bending on the sides, you can count your stitches to make sure you still have 10 stitches. So now we are going to fasten our work. So you're going to take your needle, then you insert your yarn into your needle. Okay, insert the yarn into the needle. Okay, perfect. So you're going to weave in this yarn into this this line. This is the line that I like to weave in my yarn. So you're going to weave in your yarn. Okay, into this last line here. So you just insert it and make sure it's not totally visible. Okay, insert needle. As you can see, you insert it into the here. Okay, pull it. So you insert it until you think it's enough, and be sure that it won't come out. Then you take your needle, your scissors, and then you're going to cut off the end. And now you're done. Then we have this end, the first one that we made when we were making the slip knot. So you're going to insert the yarn into the needle. You're going to do the same thing. Insert it, the needle down here. Pull your needle. Okay. You insert it again. Pull it. Okay. Okay. Insert it again. Pull it until it is the length that you want to be covered, to be weaved in. Then you cut off your yarn. Then you are done. Thank you so much everyone for watching my video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have something to say, something to ask me, or something to let me know down in the comments, and I will come and reply to your comments. Thank you. See you next time.